morning. How's everyone doing? Cold? Well, this is Kansas City. Luckily, we didn't get any snow. I heard that maybe snow comes in around this time of the year, but we're good. I want to say thank you for joining us here as Jackson County proclaims it Navy Week. We're honored guests in your beloved city. I'm Ensign Lamar Badger, the Navy Week lead planner, and the Navy Week is an opportunity to inform and educate the American population on why a strong Navy is important and what your Navy does for you. In the audience, I have the commanding officer of your namesake vessel, the USS Kansas City, followed by sailors from the crew, the United States Ceremonial Guard, hometown heroes from the Kansas City area, and sailors from Meteorology and Oceanography Command, and various musical selections from the Naval Band, Great Lakes. At this time, I'd like to bring the Ceremonial Guard up front for a performance. They never cease to amaze me every time they perform. Great job from the Ceremonial Guard. At this time, I'd like to introduce Mr. Michael Tritt, Chief Marketing Officer of Union Station.
Thank you again to the drill team for being so precise. I can tell you that I've never been that close to a spinning dagger before. So, nice job. Welcome and thank you again for gathering this morning on our historic Union Station campus. On behalf of our entire organization, we are honored to host this event and once again celebrate America's Navy. As you likely know, the connections between our military and our 110-year-old Union Station are many, and preserving and sharing that history is a pillar of our mission. A few historic points to give context include the beginning of World War I, only a few months prior to Union Station's October 1914 opening, immediately changed the complexion of rail transportation across the country, including here, with much of the freight originating from and passing through Kansas City, shifting to support war efforts. Then in 1917, when the United States officially entered the war, Union Station's rail traffic peaked, with nearly 80,000 trains passing through, including 271 in one day. Much of this increase was the result of massive movements of young men heading to fight for our nation. In 1921, 3 years after Armistice Day, all 5 Allied commanders arrived by train to Union Station for the dedication of Liberty Memorial, which stands right behind us, and the groundbreaking ceremony attended by over 100,000 people, which was a record in Kansas City's history at that point. Passenger traffic again hit a milestone with nearly 680,000 travelers in 1945, with a significant number of those from America's armed forces passing through Union Station on their way home this time from World War II. In fact, between World War I and World War II, Union Station served more uniformed personnel than any other train station in the country. Included in that service were temporary canteens, Red Cross care, war bond stands, and other support stood up to provide comfort and a sense of home for those far away from their own. Indeed, our marble halls hold millions of memories, including sad farewells, joyous reunions, and every emotion and occasion in between. We cherish and honor them all. It is our passion and our privilege to be part of so many human stories, and many of those stories are built on the theme of service from every military branch, including our U.S. Navy. Our Heart of America may not have a significant presence, thus this Kansas City Navy Week, but our hearts overflow with pride for those we send and those we honor for their service and sacrifice. Thank you again for adding another military chapter to the story of Kansas City's visual voice and historic home, our Union Station.
Thank you, Mr. Tritt. At this time, I'd like to introduce Jackson County Executive Mr. Frank White, Jr.
Good morning, everyone. See, we got off to a rousing start. It was really amazing. The ceremonial guard was so precise. It's so good to get the day started in a way that gets us all inspired. I want to thank you all for being here this morning, and I want to thank Michael for the warm introduction and for welcoming us to this historic venue. Union Station stands as a symbol of pride, resilience, and unity for our community, and we are truly grateful for your generosity in hosting Jackson County and our guests today. Thank you, Michael. Appreciate it. I'm honored to be in the presence of our distinguished guests from the United States Navy. Special thanks to Assistant Secretary Franklin Parker, Admiral Larry Watkins, and Ensign Eric Badger for joining us in today's program. We deeply appreciate your service to our nation and are confident that our presence here this week will make a positive impact on our community. I'd like to take a moment to recognize any other service members or veterans with us today, including our Vice Chair of Jackson County Legislature, Ms. Megan Marshall. Thank you for your sacrifice, and we're honored to have you with us on this special occasion. Thank you so much. And before I continue, I must take a moment to highlight the incredible talent and precision of the U.S. Navy Band. and also the Ceremonial Guard. Thank you. Their professionalism and inspiring music brings honor to this event and to the Navy's proud traditions. Thank you for sharing your gifts with us today. Today we gather with deep pride and gratitude as Kansas City hosts one of the most honored events of the year, U.S. Navy Week. Our community has been chosen as one of only 15 cities nationwide to celebrate this week in recognition, and is truly a privilege to welcome the United States Navy to Jackson County. U.S. Navy Week is a reminder of the exceptional dedication, courage, and sacrifice that our sailors demonstrate every day. From safeguarding our freedoms to providing aid and support around the globe, the Navy represents the finest qualities of service, resilience, and patriotism. It's a powerful opportunity for us to connect directly with these remarkable men and women who uphold the values that we hold dear as a nation. Now it is my distinct honor to formally recognize U.S. Navy Week here in Jackson County. Admiral, would you join me up to this podium, please? Okay. On behalf of our community, I am proud to present this proclamation officially declaring November 11 through 17 as U.S. Navy Week in Jackson County. This proclamation stands as a symbol of our respect, our gratitude, and admiration for the U.S. Navy and its ongoing mission to protect and to serve. Okay. Thank you, sir. Thank you very much. Thank you. Okay. I think I lost my spot there for a second. So again, thank you all for being here today. We look forward to a meaningful week in connection with all the ceremonies that will be going on, all the celebrations. Thank you so much for joining us this morning.
Thank you, sir. At this time, I'd like to introduce Jackson County Legislator, Vice Chair, Ms. Megan Marshall. She's also a U.S. Naval Marine. Excuse me, U.S. Marine retired.
You had to get that in there, huh? It is, yes, and we're still celebrating. So good morning, everyone. Thank you to Union Station for hosting us. Thank you to Admiral for being here, Ensign Badger as well, and on all of you sailors here, and those in our community who will get to see this and watch what's going on here and what is beginning ready to happen, not just in Kansas City, but across the county. I'd be remiss if I didn't say, spending 20 years in the Marine Corps, I know how important the Navy is to the mission of our nation and keeping us safe when we're here in garrison, and then when you're over fighting the good fight. So I just want to say I thank you all for taking your time to actually come into our community. I know Navy Week is traditionally done at port cities, so a lot of us here in the flatlands don't really get to see, a lot of community members don't get to see our nation's finest up close and personal and doing community work. So I appreciate you all taking time to come here to this county, to this city, to give us an opportunity, give the community an opportunity, just to say thank you for all that you do. I know a lot of times when you're out and about amongst civilians, you feel invisible at times, like you're just kind of not there. And sometimes we like it that way. That's not a bad thing all the time. But I just want to let you all know that I truly appreciate you all being here. And to those members of our community, if you see sailors out and about, don't worry, they're not lost. Just walk up to them, say hello, thank them, and get to know them. They're here to protect us, and we're here to show them our great community and to really just thank you all for what you all do. So thank you, and I'm looking forward to the events of this week.
Thank you, Ms. Marshall. At this time, I'd like to welcome Assistant Secretary of the Navy, Mr. Franklin Parker, to the podium. Sir.
Good morning, everyone. Ensign Badger, thank you for the kind introduction and for welcoming me and our great Navy and Marine Corps team back to Kansas City for the city's second Navy Week and for our final Navy Week of 2024. I also want to thank Executive White and Vice Chair Marshall for welcoming us so warmly today. And Vice Chair, thank you so much for your service in our Marine Corps. In addition, I would like to thank Rear Admiral Watkins, Vice Commander, U.S. Naval Forces Europe and U.S. Naval Forces Africa, for being the flag sponsor of Kansas City Navy Week. To the city, county, and local officials, community leaders, flag officers, general officers, senior enlisted leaders, and other distinguished guests with us here today, welcome. And thank you for your unwavering support for our maritime services and for the incredible events that will take place this week. In a few minutes, Rear Admiral Watkins will speak with you about the significance of Navy Week and why we are all thrilled to be back here in Kansas City. But before then, I would like to speak briefly about service as a whole. I would like to speak with you about not just what it means to serve in uniform, but how all Americans can serve in ways that are specific to them as individuals and to the communities in which they live. Having recently observed Veterans Day, I would like to specifically acknowledge all our veterans, both for their service and for being shining examples to us all of what it means to serve. Throughout the history of our nation, our veterans' stories tell us the real and personal narratives of independence and liberty, of division and union, of emancipation, promises issued and dreams deferred, of tragedy and triumph, of soul searching, progress made, and of work that still remains. Our veterans, like their stories, not only represent our nation, but the best of our nation. They not only have given the greatest measure of themselves for others, but their stories provide enduring illustrations of character and perseverance that have become synonymous with the American spirit. For all these reasons, our veterans have clearly established that they not only represent America, but they are America. Every veteran has a unique experience serving, and each has distinct reasons for service. However, there is one commonality to all veterans, and that commonality is service. There is no higher calling than dedicating your time, your careers, or your lives to serving others. Our veterans have done all and more. Service pulls us together, regardless of background, identity, perspective, or self-interest, because regardless, we are one community, and we need each other. Service allows our institutions to function, supporting our common health, development, and well-being. These institutions also support our common values of freedom, both domestically and abroad. For me, service always figured prominently in my family. My father, his brother, and cousin were all Vietnam veterans. My mother came from a family here in Kansas City, for whom service to others was taught, encouraged, and expected by my grandfather, Fred Curls. Indeed, my inspiration to serve was born of these individuals and has deep roots in this city. For me, the stories of the veterans in my family and of public servants not wearing the uniform framed my view of what it means to serve and why service is not only important, but is necessary for our nation to truly realize its ideals. There are many ways we each can serve. Executive Watkins and Vice Chair Marshall are serving in public office, daily managing critical issues and resources essential to the present and future of this community. Many of you are serving in your own capacity, whether participating on a local board, volunteering for a charity, serving in law enforcement, working as a teacher in a local school, or supporting your community and each other in numerous ways, each of which makes an impact, and each of which makes us better, both as people and as a nation. Service looks different for everyone, but what is important is that we serve. Service beyond ourselves, for each other, binds us together as a nation. It undergirds the institutions we require to function, and it supports the common good, which is the root of community itself. Service matters, and we need good people who are willing to do so. This is why earlier this year, our Secretary of the Navy, Carlos Del Toro, announced a strategic outreach effort called the National Call to Maritime Service. As Secretary Del Toro said, we recognize the desire of Americans from all walks of life to use their talents to better our great nation and to be part of a legacy of courage and honor that stretches back to the very founding of our nation and beyond. Those are powerful words that should resonate with Americans across the country, and hopefully they resonate with all of you here today. It is a call to action, and it is a call for support. It is imperative that each of us and our next generations understand the roles we play in the future of the nation's maritime defense and national security. To do so, it is also important we understand the range of opportunities and rewards that exist serving in the Navy and Marine Corps, both in and out of uniform. We require good people willing to raise their hands and serve as our next generation of sailors and Marines, defending our nation in what is the most potent and technologically advanced military force our world has ever seen, while also providing various other aspects of our naval mission, such as life-saving humanitarian assistance, critical medical services, innovative research, and serving as the faces of our nation to our partners and allies abroad. In addition to these roles, however, many people do not realize you can work for the Navy and Marine Corps, but not be in the Navy and Marine Corps. Many are not aware that beyond uniform service, there's a multitude of civilian careers available within the Department of the Navy. There are more than 30 different civilian career communities and over 500 different civilian job series within the department. We also employ more than 250,000 civilians in over 1,300 locations around the world. These civilians perform a variety of key roles, from organizational leaders to policy experts, to attorneys, to accountants, to cyber specialists, to scientists, to mental health professionals, to civilian mariners, and numerous other essential functions. However, many people have no idea these opportunities exist. The National Call to Maritime Service aims to fix that. Our goal is to educate and inspire Americans to find their fit, whether in uniform or in civilian service. It connects individuals with career paths that are best suited for their values, skills, and aspirations. And it encourages everyone to consider how they can directly impact the future of our nation. In August, we launched the official National Call to Maritime Service website, which we designed to help explore the wide range of paths to maritime service. Maybe your path is in uniform, and maybe it's not. But what matters is that there is a place for everyone in service. We hope you will help us spread the word. Again, thank you for welcoming the Department of the Navy to your great city, and thank you for the ways you serve every day. It is an honor to join you here in Kansas City, and we look forward to a wonderful week. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for your remarks. At this time, I would like to welcome Rear Admiral Larry Watkins to the podium. Sir.
How you doing, everybody? As you heard, I'm Rear Admiral Larry Watkins, and I'm a native of Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, but I did grow up in the Midwest, and as they always say, if you don't like the weather, wait an hour and it will change, right? So about an hour ago, I was freezing. Now I'm up there melting, going, wait, it's so hot out here today. So nonetheless, it's good to be back, and I'm a graduate of Mizzou, so I've spent some time in the heartland, and it's great to be the representative for the Navy as the senior executive for the 15th Navy Week that we've discussed earlier. But really, I just want to thank the City of Kansas City, Mr. White, and his executive team for inviting us and supporting us. And I'd also like to thank all the sailors that are representing the various commands and the hometown folks that will be participating in the 70 some odd events that we have planned throughout the week. Earlier today, I was just at Shawnee Mission High School and saw the Navy JROTC program that they have there. Very impressive. And so I echo the sentiments of ASN Parker when he talks about we all serve in different ways, and there's definitely an opportunity for you to serve on our team, whether it's in or out of uniform. So I'd echo that sentiment. And lastly, I would just say a couple things. One, for all the people who do all the work to allow this to happen, we appreciate you in the backdrop. I know the band gets all the credit because they make the noise, but it's awesome for all the people who do the planning and have all the meetings to get everything ready for a presentation for today. And then lastly, just why is the Navy important, right? So we all like to get stuff, right? We all like to make phone calls. We all like Wi-Fi. And so just so you know that 90% of the goods that are shipped throughout the world come over the water, right? And so the Navy helps maintain the sea trade and those what we call sea lines of communications open. And 95% of the transcontinental cables that connect the internet between nations, all that traffic travels through those cables. You know, so if you want something from Amazon or you want something from online, there's a role that the Navy's playing in that affects your daily life. So with that, I appreciate you once again. Let's have a round of applause for that presentation from the Ceremonial Color Guard, or Ceremonial Guard rather, because I've done that as a young midshipman in training, and we did not do that as well. Heck, we didn't do it as well as the high school kids did it today. I mean, it was impressive. So nobody dropped anything, which is always the thing that you don't want to hear, but I appreciate it. And once again, welcome to Navy Week, Kansas City.
At this time, I would ask everyone to join us by the flagpole so that we may raise the U.S. Naval flag.